The first, I always quote them, so that nobody can ever accuse me of bringing false charges against this group. When I tell you what they believe, I'm quoting them. The first man who bethought himself of saying, "This is mine," and found people simple enough to believe him, was the real founder of civil society. What crimes, what wars, what murders, what miseries and horrors would he have spared the human race if someone would have warned? Beware of listening to this impostor. You are lost if you forget that the fruits of the earth belong to all and the earth to no one. That's communism. Ownership of property is not peculiar to the human race. The bird has its nest. The dog has its bone that it will savagely defend. If everything were divided up today, all would be unequal again tomorrow. One man would fritter away his share. Another would double it by turning it to good account. The practical and energetic would soon be more prosperous than the idler or the wastrel. The parable of the 10 talents perfectly illustrates the difficult capacity of differing men to deal with money. And that is why we must rule with a benevolent despotism. This is the precise language of internationalists today, and it is, of course, easy to point out the evils of exaggerated patriotism. But it will not be found that the man who loves his country is less able to respect foreign patriots any more than that the man who loves his family is a worse neighbor than one who cares little for his wife and children. That's a quote of Nesta Webster. It was not one of them. The Bible tells us, and the laws of nature tell us, that he who dribbles away his money does not deserve it. He who beats his wife does not deserve a wife. It is to the fittest. It is to the one who earns, who does honest labor, should reap the rewards. Why should one labor to beat all? For in those kinds of societies, that's exactly what happens. Look what happened in communism, Russia, the Soviet Union. One of the most frequently quoted sayings of the people in the Soviet Union was, "We pretend to work, and they pretend to pay us." So I can safely tell you, with no psychic powers whatsoever, that the New World Order will be totalitarian and socialist in nature. Here are their tenets. Abolition of monarchies and all ordered government, except for theirs. Abolition of all private property and inheritances. Abolition of patriotism and nationalism. Abolition of family life and the institution of marriage and the establishment of communal education of children. Abolition of all religion. And if you look around you in the world today, that is exactly what is taking place, folks. Exactly. They're building their world under our noses, and because they're generally right when they call us cattle who don't use their brains, unfortunately, they're getting away with it. Cecil Rhodes, British subject, was a great friend of Albert Pike's, the man who established the control of the Illuminati of the United States for its evil intent. He was also a good friend of Giuseppe Mazzini, who was the head of the Illuminati in Europe. They corresponded frequently. The letters between Pike and Rhodes and Mazzini used to be on display in the British Museum, and good researchers still may be able to dig them out and they haven't buried them forever. And one of the things that Cecil Rhodes wanted to do was leave money in his will to the secret society that would bring about the New World Order. But he changed that will, realizing that he left the money in the will, it would become public knowledge that there was going to be a New World Order, so he couldn't do that, could he? Instead, he left his fortune to Lord Rothschild to establish the things that Cecil Rhodes wanted. He wanted bright young men chosen to be trained in England to become the leaders of the New World Order. So the election that just occurred in the United States of America was no victory for us, for Bill Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar. He's also a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, and he's a Mason. So we just lost all the way around. All the way around. In my country, the United States of America, of a total of 1,372 American Rhodes Scholars, up to 1953, and that's as far up as we're able to get it because we can't identify the positions that they all hold now, 431 held or hold positions in teachings, educational administration. Among them are 31 college presidents, 113 held government positions, 70 held positions in press and radio, and 14 were executives in foundations. Here's what Adam Weishaupt said. In reference to the various governmental leaders which the Illuminati had targeted for subversion, Weishaupt remarked, quote, "It is therefore our duty to surround them with the Illuminati's members, so that the profane may have no access to them. Thus we are able most powerfully to promote our interests. If any person is more disposed to listen to princes than to the order, he is not fit for it and must rise no higher. We must do our utmost to procure the advancement of Illuminati into all important civil offices. By this plan we shall direct all mankind. In this manner, by the simplest means, we shall set all in motion and in flames. The occupations must be so allotted and contrived that we may in secret influence all political transactions." That's why Franklin Delano Roosevelt said, "Nothing ever happens by accident. Everything is planned." The 16th of July of 1782, they had held a secret Congress. Nesta Webster observes, quote, "What passed at this terrible Congress will never be known to the outside world, for even those men who had been drawn unwittingly into the movement and now heard for the first time the real designs of the leaders were under oath to reveal nothing. One such honest Freemason, the Comte de Berriew, a member of the Martinist Lodge at Lyons, returning from the Congress de Willemsbad, could not conceal his alarm, and when questioned on the tragic secrets he had brought back with him, replied, quote, 'I will not confide them to you. I can only tell you that all this is very much more serious than you think. The conspiracy which is being woven is so well thought out that it will be, so to speak, impossible for the monarchy and the church to escape from it.' From this time onwards," says his biographer, in Costa de Beauregard, "the Comte de Berriew could only speak of Freemasonry with horror." Unquote. Shortly after that, a messenger writing from the Bavarian Lodge to another lodge in Germany was struck by lightning and was killed. Fell off his horse. The people ran up and found him carrying a pouch with papers in it, which they gave to the Bavarian government. They were exact paragraphs out of what is now known as the Protocols of the Wise Men of Zion, which has been blamed upon the Jews, and the Jews did not write the point that I made very well in my book. You see, folks, in the New World Order, all existing religions will be destroyed, including Judaism. All of you who have been persecuted Jews thinking that they're the cause of all of our ills are falling exactly right into the hands of those who would enslave us. For that is how they manipulate us, and that's how they destroy us, by getting us fighting against each other. In the United States, it's blacks against whites. I never met a black man or a woman who ever sat around their kitchen table and thought seriously about coming to kill me. And I never knew any white person in the United States who ever did the same thing. Yet constantly, social pressures are put upon us to battle with each other. And if you trace these social pressures, they always lead to the same place, the lodges of Freemasonry, which to this day are segregated. They have black lodges, but they're all black members. They have Jewish lodges, but they're all Jewish members. Yes, they do. It's known as the Order of the Eastern Star. The Eastern Star